Okay, so we are here with two members of The Soil and the Sun. So I'm wondering, you guys started as two members. Were you guys the original two, or?
Actually started with the drummer and me back in college. Well, also Jackie and Joanna, who are in the band now, we played music together quite a few years ago in college, and then we started The Soil and the Sun as just a two-piece. And then over the past 3 or 4 years or so, it's been a pretty wide range of people have been in and out, but now we've sort of settled into this really solid group of 7 of us.
Yeah. I was going to say, it was really powerful, too, I know.
Thank you.
Even, I was here watching the levels half of the time, and I could feel it, the energy coming through the walls here. So a big aspect to your guys' music is the spiritual side of things, I think,
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big driving force in how you guys approach writing music, and even as you communicate as a group and a band and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a big part of our lives, seeking sort of a holistic lifestyle. So yeah, definitely we're all interested in spirituality and sort of searching for truth and learning new things, and sifting through stuff, and sorting through issues and trying to make sense of the world.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that really spoke to me, the whole spiritual side of the whole group. And I mean, I feel like there are more people becoming aware. They're waking up spiritually, and
definitely.
And and I know there's probably people out there that disagree, and they have every right to. But I feel that there is a spiritual side to all of us if we just let ourselves see it. So, and I think the music often lets us open up and experience that kind of thing.
Definitely, yeah.
So your first album was Wake Up Child, and your second album, What Wonder Is This Universe? I actually got that recently, and I really like it. There is, the prolegomena. The prolegomena. There we go.
Yeah.
It's kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Which, it means the pretty much the introducing a work or of considerable length or complexity. And I thought that was interesting. Of course, it comes right before one of my favorite tracks,
Cool.
which is "You Alone Know," and which of course is a lengthy song and very complex.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought that was really interesting.
I'm glad you picked up on it.
Yeah. And also going back to the one, prolegomena. Oh man, I practiced saying that several times.
I think you got it. Okay.
Yeah, you did a good job.
But there is. It really reminds me of this one composer, Vangelis. If you know who that is.
I don't. I'm not the classical one. Ashley might. She's
I am classically trained, but I don't know that one. I'll have to look him up.
He does a lot of movie soundtracks, actually.
Okay. Well, the name actually sounds familiar.
He does Blade Runner and.
So I've heard his stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and Chariots of Fire. Yeah, you've probably heard his stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, that one track that you guys did really reminds me of some of his stuff.
That's cool.
So yeah, I just had this question. So I'm always interested to know, personally, for my own stuff, what would you say is your friend's favorite tune that you guys have? Like, what do they say that they really
our
like?
Friends.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That is a great question.
Yeah, let's see.
A lot of people, we've had a couple of friends email us and talk about our last track of our newest album, I Know It, I Feel It Too, as being one that's encouraged them or kind of gotten them through a hard time. So that one's the one that immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it seems like that's been a big one. Also, off of our first album, the song "Raised in Glory" has been sort of like an anthem for us. There's not very many shows where we haven't played that song because it seems like it's just usually one of those ones
universally accepted.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So, again, I was gonna say, you guys label yourselves as experiential, spiritual, folk rock, New Mexican space music.
Something like that.
It's which is great. How did you guys come to that?
Well, it's sort of just.
Some of it's kind of silly.
It's a little silly. It also, I mean,
It's fun.
It's
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
and it does. Like sometimes I think it's just dumb, and then other times I think, well, it does evoke a certain like picture in your mind that maybe sort of captures a little part of what we're trying to do musically. But mostly we are sort of turned off by the idea of trying to classify ourselves, or just like we don't want to put up too many boundaries or things that we can't break down. Because when a band like gets known for doing one thing really well, then I think it becomes more difficult to transcend those, categories. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that I totally relate, because with my own music, people ask, what's the genre? And I never like to stick to one genre. I like to explore all sorts of things. So, yeah, you don't want to feel like you're being stifled or put into a category.
Yeah, we'll leave that to the experts.
Right. So you just had a show in Portland. Did that go well?
It went really well. A lot. I mean, we didn't have a lot of expectations because this is our first time out west at all. So yeah, first show in Portland, and yeah, a bunch of people came, and it was really fun. We played with some pretty rad bands, and it was a really good night.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And your next show is going to be actually tomorrow in Sacramento.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So not exactly driving distance. Well, we're driving there, but it's I think it's like 8 hours from here.
Rough 8 or 12 hours.
So any Eugene kids out there want to come down, feel free.
Road trip.
Yeah.
And actually, I was going to talk to you a little bit about that. The last one, last song on that album, which I actually have here. I'm going to play it after this.
Cool.
But yeah, I know it. I feel it too. I really like that one too. Actually,
Nice.
It's probably one of my favorite tunes.
Hmm.
I really love it. In the middle there, the breakdown where you just have the piano and then it goes into the strings and everything else, and it just has this really wonderful build, and it just just soars from there. But the whole thing is great.
Thank you.
So the other question is, involving your evolution of your group, what are some of the emotions behind that? The whole, starting from very humble, small, and then like just growing from there, becoming larger and larger. What are some feelings you have behind that?
It's been a good process. It's been a lot of fun. It hasn't been too intentional, really, up until like pretty recently, that we really wanted to try to be a band for real. We've just been, playing shows and having fun, and going on tour is a ton of fun. So it's like sort of something that a lot of us have always wanted to do, sort of like a fantasy dream life kind of situation. And then we were just like, well, why don't we just try it and go for it and see what happens?
And it seemed to have paid off.
Well, no, I mean,
It's paid off in other ways besides monetarily.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. I don't say that like that.
Yeah.
I do mean that. It's paid off in your own growth, and
yeah, I mean, in terms, like, at least we are going on tour and stuff, and that's awesome. It's super fun to do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Making albums, and yeah, that's just kind of what we've always dreamed of doing, and so feels good to be doing it.
Yeah. So, and speaking of growth, so I know a lot of interviewers get hung up on the band name and what caused you to pick that name. To me, when I heard it, it kind of evoke this, this earthy feel, and I honestly, a lot of the vocals that you guys do and the way that the group choir-ish way that you do it, it sounds more like it's like you guys are evoking the spirit of nature almost. It's like a ritual almost. It's less than just people singing. It's more like an experience. And I guess that's where you come the experiential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like live music is pretty special, I think, in terms of connecting to something that we maybe have lost. It kind of helps us remember parts of ourselves that we forgot about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, live music is definitely
a
way to tap into that.
That is really important. So you guys said you had a new album coming up. When is that coming out?
There's no release date or anything yet. We are planning on recording it this winter, and so hopefully, depending on how things go, spring or early summer. I don't really know how. This is going to be our first we're going to try to release it properly and do it in a real studio and everything. So it's a new experience for us.
So you're saying the other ones weren't released in a real studio?
No, they were recorded in our living room.
House.
Oh, well, it sounds great.
Thanks. It's good to have friends that help out. But yeah, none of us really know what we're doing when it comes to recording music. So it'll be nice to try something different for this next one.
Right. Do you have like a theme you're going for, or is it just kind of
spooky?
Spooky?
Going for a spooky theme.
Oh man, that's great. So yeah, this has been great. I don't know. So was there anything else you guys wanted to add?
We really hope to come to Eugene and play a show.
That'd be great.
We love it here.
I'd be there for sure.
We're on tour for the next few weeks, and so we're playing almost all new cities that we've never been to. So if anybody out there wants to tell their friends to come see us play, it'd be awesome.
All right. Also, where can people go to find your music and get it?
You can get our music at thesoilandthesun.com. It's just a Bandcamp site.
We also have a Facebook and a lot of information on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. All right. And so you've been who are you guys again? What's your names? What's your names?
Oh, I'm Alex.
I'm Ashley.
Okay. And these are two members of it's a seven piece, right?
Yep.
Of the 7-piece band, The Soil and the Sun, and it's been great. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks for having us a lot.
Okay, to play us out, I'm going to play the last track on their newest album, and it's called I Know It, I Feel It Too, here on 88.1 KWVA Eugene.